welcome back to Bears Fish. We made 100 subscribers, so we changed our URL, and as always, there's been some changes. So we're about to do us a tank tour. We're going to walk through all the tanks that are currently up and running and check out a couple of surprises. So hang out, and I'll show you how I do it. Alright, so here's the gentleman's tank. We have 4 boy guppies. We have 3 endlers in here. We're running 2 filters rated for 20 gallons each. We've got a whole bunch of ram's horn snails in here. As you can see, we've got some lava rock hanging around in the tank. There's actually a bag of lava rock getting seated right underneath the media from my wife's tank that originally started this one up. I also have the green scrubbies underneath the substrate here, so we could take any of this given media out of this tank in the next week or two and set up a tank in about 15 minutes and have everything completely cycled and ready to go. They're doing really good. They're super healthy, and they have a lot of fun swimming around. I don't let them at the ladies just yet, but we'll talk about that next. So next up is the ladies tank. We have a whole bunch of Java moss in here, along with the spider wood. This cool little plastic plant mat down here. We're again running 2 filters rated for the 20 gallons each. Instead of the one big heater, however, we got 2 smaller ones. The tank itself came with this small one over here. It's a 50 watt. I like a little bit larger heaters in my tanks just to kind of have that redundancy, or at least be sure the water is stable everywhere. Over the last 24 hours, one of our ladies has started to drop fry, at least one anyways. We're going to show you the grow out tanks in just a moment, and there are still probably about 3 or 4 little fry swimming along in here. I see one right behind the spider wood right now. Sneaky little dudes are super hard to get out of here. But for now, they're all mutts, so I'm not worried about it. We're just going to let them drop in here, and we'll rescue who we can. And then when we start to target breed, we'll set up a little bit differently for birthing. That way we can have more control over what's coming out and who's going to remain and who's going to move on to other homes. Okay, so here's our grow out setup. Now this one's not in operation, this one is. We have some little fry in here with a small filter and a little heater going in here. There's probably about 13 or 14 fry in there at the moment. I do not have a light on them at this time just because I didn't set it up. I'm going to figure that out later on today. I'm thinking about having the light come up from below because of these dark lids. I still want them to get light and get used to a daylight cycle. I just didn't put them in yet. I worry about lights below the water. I don't know, something about it. It's just kind of making me hesitate, but we'll see what happens. Alright, so this is my wife's 40 breeder. Now, as you can tell, the community has changed quite a bit. We picked up another tank recently. We're going to review in just a few moments. And the inhabitants that came with that are a Raphael striped catfish and a Placo. Now, these really cool little kids that were there were worried about their fish going to a good home. I know that they're watching because we let their mom know that the video was up. And they're okay. They're doing really well. We moved them into this new tank because it has a wider footprint. And they have a little bit more space to move around side to side and back to front than the tank that they came in. Because of the size of these fish, they don't necessarily need a whole lot of depth up and down, but they do need some room to move around. At the moment, they're the only ones in this tank. They were a little disruptive to the previous inhabitants, and everybody got kind of nervous, so we moved them out and set the community back up in another tank, which we're going to review in just a moment. Alright, so this is where the community moved to. This is a 45-gallon bow front. Great family over in New York hooked us up with this, along with the 2 fish we talked about a moment ago. It's a great little tank. At first we thought it was a 55, but when you fill them up by hand, you can count the buckets, and it is definitely a 45-gallon tank. It's great. We love this thing. the community moved over. At first we had just the live bears in here and the catfish. Everybody was kind of freaking out because the catfish is so big. The Pleco didn't play well with the goldfish, so we put the catfish back over with the Pleco buddy that they've grown up with. Brought our goldies back over here who are used to the community, and everybody seems to be doing much, much better. So now it's time to talk about the surprise, I think. Okay, so here's the surprise. I went out and got more tanks. Yes, that was plural. I mentioned over on Lucky Smuck's channel that occasionally you wish you knew something about the purchase before you got there, and you might want to walk away when you see something wrong with the deal. So I go over to go buy this tank and the other one that I'm going to show you in a minute, and it's got a broken center brace. Now, normal circumstances, I'd probably walk away, except I do know how to repair these. I'm still not going to. I'm actually going to get rid of this tank. It's coming, going to a new home this weekend to become a home for a critter, like a snake or a lizard. So the center bar is irrelevant. It doesn't matter. But it was a package deal. And I really wanted the other part of the package, so I took it whether I wanted it or not, because I wanted this one. For those of you who are unfamiliar with these, this is a Metaframe tank. This is a 55-gallon tank that has a complete and total stainless steel framing on it. It has a slate bottom. Yes, slate is in the stone. The original seals are still in it. The original tar that was in there. I don't trust them. It hasn't been filled with water in quite a long time. I'm not going to send this out to get refurbished as a collector's item. I'm going to take this and put it to use. So, I'm going to follow us along as we go ahead and redo this tank. We're going to clean it up. We're going to clean out all the silicone that was in there, because somebody did put silicone in already. I know that silicone doesn't stick to slate, so I'm not going to even try. I'm going to fill in the cracks with some silicone just to take up space. I'm going to put in some plastic dip in there and have that seal up about a ½ inch above, so it's like the bottoms of a pond. When I put in my substrate, nobody will ever see it. This is very durable anyways. It's completely watertight since it's spray-on plastic. And it is aquarium safe. I did find out for sure after doing a little bit of research. It's got an iron stand that came with it. We're going to clean that up and repaint it black so we have that nice contrast. This tank is going to be a lot of fun, and because of how retro and cool it is, I think it'd be cool to have a lot of color in this tank. So I'm going to fill it with male guppies. Yep, that's what I'm going to do with this tank. Alright, let's go finish this video up. Alright, so thanks for following us along in this tank tour. Thank you for 100 subscribers for sure. What an amazing community we're part of here. Thank you to the family who sold us those really cool fish. Thank you to the gentleman who sold us those amazing 55s out there, especially that Metaframe one I'm very excited about developing. Make sure you're following us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Definitely Instagram. We do a lot of stuff on Instagram. Probably a little bit more than we do here on YouTube. Like, share, and subscribe. Invite your friends, invite your kids, invite your grandparents, invite everybody who likes fish. And even if they don't like fish, invite them anyways, and we'll teach them a little something here and there. Thanks a lot, and have a really great day.